Hello Leo, and welcome to your in-depth monthly horoscope for February 2023. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout details to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all the ins and outs particularly relevant to your sign. And what I can tell you this month is there's a full moon, as always, in your sign. This year it's on the 5th. This is when the moon is in direct opposition to the sun. But the sun starts the journey of this month in its 7th house of your solar chart, very much to do with relationships, but it's forging a dazzling link with Mars on the first 2 days. So I feel that you can really thrust into February with a lot of energy, particularly in the way that you're connecting to others, because Mars is in a very sociable location and now in direct motion. But that full moon on the 5th, I really need to tell you about that, because Uranus is complicating the piece, and that can bring some restlessness and some disruption in the following 2 weeks. Now, from the 8th to the 12th, Mercury is going to be conjoining with Pluto in a very practical location, brilliant for details. And of course, Mercury's gone through that retrograde, so this is a great opportunity to continue to grapple with any smaller but important strand. But there is a phase of this month when Mercury moves on the 11th into your sector of relating, but the Sun aligns with Saturn, that can bring a relationship matter to a head. So I need to really share about that with you. Now, later in the month, we're going to see a big push of energy into the part of your scope to do with shared resources, longer term financial planning, and stuff to do with business. But there's a brilliant link between Venus and Jupiter right at the end of the month that I'm really excited to share with you too. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining me. If you would care to sub, it means that every time I release a video, you will get that alert. And please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me once more. I've had 29 million views on YouTube, and I'm grateful for every single one. However, if you've yet to order your year 2023 personal forecast, so you can rise above this zodiac broadcast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast for the next year, and also your life roadmap in my special package of 30% off, which helps you to understand some of the deeper patterns that have come up for you, good and bad, and help you to become more intimate with how to deal with these and how to gain traction from working with your strengths more closely. Also, in my special package, you can get your zodiac forecast for the year, your Chinese and Indian forecast too. Please see the link beneath this video. So Leo, your February forecast begins with the Sun in your sector of relating, along with the stricter and more challenging energies of Saturn. And they are going to come together in week 3 of this month. But initially, the Sun's angle to Mars, now heading direct, is one which can create a lot of thrust. And if there is a plan that's important to you, but you need to work closely with someone else, you can really get this going between you as the month begins. But that full moon on the 5th, as I mentioned before, is potentially disrupted by Uranus. Uranus is in your sector of your worldly interaction. The moon in your sign makes you want to think more about your needs, whereas the Sun, of course, is very much about how you're relating to others. If there's a tipping point between the give and get in your situation, your feelings, even if you're someone who does like to keep an even keel, may be much harder to disguise over the following 2 weeks. Of course, your sign is about individual creative expression. The sign of Aquarius is about working together with people. But I feel if there's a close relationship in your situation, this full moon is really going to see you think carefully about what to do in the following 2 weeks. Now, from the 8th to the 12th, as I mentioned before, if there are some tiny but important strands that require your attention. Mercury's alliance with Pluto will give you a very penetrative quality. But then on the 11th, Mercury moves into your sector of relating. This can be really good because the combination between Mercury and Pluto could have made you feel a bit brittle and even a bit picky or hypercritical about a particular issue. And Mercury moving into your opposite sign is asking you to take a step back, be a little bit more detached, and recognise that everyone's entitled to a different opinion. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's uber personal to you. But by Valentine's Day, the Sun has moved to join with Saturn, and this is really significant. If you are in a relationship where you're really invested and it's going well, that sense of commitment can only grow with this combination. But all through week 3, the Sun and Saturn are side by side within 3 degrees. So if there is any relationship in your world beyond a romantic type that isn't giving you what you need, you may decide to call time on it. Equally, if you're single, you might start taking the whole concept of meeting someone much more seriously. And why not? But on the 18th, the Sun moves into your 8th house, which can be about deep transformations. But on the same day, the Moon connects with Pluto in your sign of everyday order and domesticity, organisation. Again, there may be something you feel does need looking at, but if you want to have a fresh look at your finances, I think your emotion can mean that you are motivated to do something. It could be like set up a savings plan. It may be look to change a phone or a utility supplier in order to save some money, because the 8th house can be about longer term money as much as it can be about that spiritual rejuvenation or change. But on the 20th, one of the best moments of the month, Venus moves out of your 8th house, which is no bad thing, and you may have had some good financial news. Maybe some kind of insurance payout or a surprise premium has come to you, or perhaps someone has shown a much healthier romantic interest in you. But Venus moving into your sister fire sign of Aries on the 20th is asking you to really be totally truthful with yourself about relationship matters. But the new moon that occurs on the same day in Pisces is allied with Saturn, but Saturn's just in the last degrees of Aquarius, so it's a dissociate conjunction. Again, because the 8th house is quite complex, the 7th house is where we set our boundaries, we interact, we compete, but we relate. The 8th house is where we either want to go for it in a very big and powerful and potent way, or we may break actually free. And because Saturn's in the mix, and it's just about to join in Pisces on the 7th of March, shared finances, business matters, long-term financial planning, where you feel that your enthusiasm and dedication are reciprocated, they're going to be big themes over the next few years. But by the 27th and the 28th, there's that wonderful conjunction between Venus and Jupiter that I was hinting about before. If you have been wanting to get away, whether it's for a long weekend, or go off for some winter sun or snow, or there is somebody that you're drawn to, it could be through the internet quite easily with this combination. But what's really important is these two planets are the planets of fortune. So when Venus and Jupiter are together in the 9th house, some kind of legal matter, a contract, or something to do with a personal relationship with someone who has a big view of life could really be very exciting for you. Also, although the Sun is in the deep and quite psychological 8th house, it does actually forge a semi-sextile with Venus for the last week of this month. Once more, this reinforces the prospects around a contractual matter. So if you are looking to change your work and you're having interviews or discussions, some good news can definitely come towards the end of this month. So I think, to summarize, Leo, February is a month for you when you're going to find out which relationships in your life are rock solid and which are the ones that you start to feel are not as balanced as you may have previously thought or need now, and they could come under quite an important review. It's been a pleasure being with you. Take care, good luck, and goodbye.